Penguinauts, I am the Bitty Penguin, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program Fall of Kerbin, which is a bit of a prequel series to Kollaborative Warfare that I am doing with TAPEgaming. Now, Comrade Kerbin, the glorious leader of the Kruolan Union, believes that all Kerbals should have an equal amount of snacks. Snacks should be distributed to everyone. There should be no rich and no poor. But the evil capitalist pigs of the United States of Kerbin to the east believe otherwise. They believe that you should receive snacks based on merit, but this leads to the select few hoarding the majority, while the rest of the people live in squalor. Well, such medieval ideals cannot be allowed to exist in a modern world. We will spread our glorious revolution to the United States of Kerbin, even if it means all-out war for the first time in Kerbal history. Comrade Kerbin, in his infinite wisdom, has devised numerous plans for us to destroy our enemies, and one of those involves commissioning an air force of mighty aircraft to be constructed. Now this falls into three categories. We've got fighters, we've got attackers, and we've got bombers. Now for now we're just going to look at fighters. So each turn you'll be able to launch up to 5 fighters, and you may think, oh my god, that's so many, but I mean, this series is going to be far more about the actual battles and way less about massively long flights. So we're going to be using BD Vessel Mover and Hyperedit, so you can move troops and you can move tanks and ships a certain distance every turn, and so it's going to be coming out way more often because we don't have to do ridiculously long flights all the time. And I'll explain more about that when we get into ground forces and ships. But for now, let's just look at our aircraft technology. So we're starting with technology sort of about the end of World War I. We're just in a little temporary base TAPE has managed to construct for us, which is actually in the location of where one of my future bases are going to be. This is going to be pretty much our largest coastal base that we have, although even though we're starting at the end of World War I, sort of technology wise, we do already have radar. It's a little bit complicated. I did write up all the rules, so if you want there'll be a link in the description so you can read all of them. I'm sure it makes a fascinating read. But anyway, so let's just get this fighter in the air. Now I would have used the Firespitter biplane engine, but the problem is they don't work with BD Wingman for some reason. That and the customizable engine don't work with it. So instead we're using this D25 radial engine at 50% thrust limiter just to try and replicate that sort of thing. Now, to make dogfights that little bit more amazing, not only do we have the improved chase camera, but if you turn off SES, we've got mouse aim flight. Holy crap, it's basically War Thunder. Check it out! This is, you don't realise just how much of an amazing mod this is until you actually fly with it. It basically is War Thunder. It's amazing. Now this aircraft is pretty heavily based off of the German Fokker triplane, which was pretty much the most competent aircraft in World War I. It was completely unsurpassed when it came to manoeuvrability. The only way that British aircraft actually managed to stay competent with it was just because they had much more powerful engines. But in terms of manoeuvrability, nothing could really outclass the Fokker triplane. And you're probably thinking, whoa, with German plane? Oh, Penguin, you're such a Kaiser. Oh, shut up. Okay. Now, just because I am basing my country off of, obviously, off of the USSR, doesn't mean I'm limiting myself to basing my stuff off of Soviet technology. I'm just basing my tech off of whatever I think would be cool. So we've just obviously covered all the decals up with giant red stars because the UKSR, the Union of Kruolan Socialist Republics is spelt with a K as well, of course, will stand fast against the capitalist pigs of Kerbin. So we've got Kerbin. He's not exactly a fighter race, he's just a test pilot, because of course military aircraft have only just been invented. This is the first full-scale war that Kerbin is actually has ever had. So this is the first time weapons have actually been necessary and have started to be developed. But of course, once there is a need, the Kerbals are a very, very, very advanced race, and they can. Once there is a need for technology, well, they'll do nothing. They'll not sleep. They'll not rest until that technology has been created. But anyway, so as I said, you can launch five fighter aircraft a turn, which can each have 2 fixed weapons, and up until turn 11, when we have a technology jump, they can only be 50 caliber. Now, obviously in World War One, they mostly used 30 caliber, but we don't actually have any 30 caliber weaponry. We are using Aviator Arsenal. There's a full mod list in the description, but there isn't actually any 30 caliber weaponry, so we're using 50 caliber weaponry, and some aircraft in World War One did actually have 50 cals, so that's just what we're going to go with. They're actually not all that damaging, and you see, it's just a wonder to fly with this mod. I mean, mouse aim fly, I didn't think it would be this good. I thought it would be just sort of, it would help a little bit, but is amazing, like seriously. So you can launch 5 fighter aircraft, 3 attacker aircraft, or 1 bomber. Now early on we're probably not going to be going with bombers, and I'll explain more about them in a little bit. For now we're just going to have a look at our beautiful fighter aircraft, as I said, based off of the Fokker triplane. So we could launch 5 of these a turn, so some of them might be doing ground support, close air support sort of operations, attacking enemy emplacements, as long as they don't have any AAA, or you know, they might actually be assisting the Navy. They might be launching from carriers. Oh, hello, we pulled that a little close, didn't we? Now, Procedural Wings is kind of playing up at the moment, so we are using the Firespitter biplane parts and covering all the decals up, but maybe if I can get Procedural Wings to work, we'll have some slightly different looking aircraft. Otherwise, mine and Tape might have pretty similar looking aircraft at the beginning of this war, though he might go for biplanes, and maybe try and go for a higher speed, high top speed, and maybe less maneuverability. Of course, this thing does actually have flaps as well, which lowers its top speed, but does greatly increase its maneuverability. It allows it to fly at lower speeds as well, so we lower them for landing, which is all very nice. Right, should we have a little dogfight? I think we should have a dogfight. Okay, so we just got 4 of these aircraft out. You'll probably notice that they're just called Fighter. I haven't thought of a name yet. I haven't thought of any kind of naming theme, so please do put any suggestions in the comments. A lot of the names you came up with in that Space Ares episode were actually extremely helpful. Helped me come up with a name for all of Kerbin. A couple of you did actually suggest that. But yeah, I mean, as well as names for bases as well. This hasn't got a name at the moment. It's just called Test Base 1. I'm kind of sick of Greek gods and naming after gods, so any kind of other unique naming theme would be pretty cool. I'm thinking I'll name my ships after species of penguin though, but anything for ground vehicles and air vehicles would be greatly appreciated. But anyway, I think what we're going to do is we are on Team B. Like throughout the entire war we're going to be on Team B, because originally Team B was red coloured, and we are we are fueled by fire of communist revolution, comrade. So we're going to be on Team B, but just for now we're going to select all and come on myself, and we're just going to set everyone to take off, just get everybody into the air, and then we're going to change the teams of these 2, and then we're going to be controlling this 1 fighter. I hope they have enough runway to take off. It would be a little awkward if they don't, but these have got quite a short takeoff run. They only have to get up to about 20 meters per second. They should be fine, right? Right? They'll be okay. Yeah, they're in the air. Okay, I was a little worried. So we'll just get them into the air. Here we go. And I don't want to command myself anymore, so let's just deactivate that pilot. And then we're going to do Team A, Team A. Here we go. Okay, so switch to locked camera mode. Let's get our gun out. Weapons, currently got menu off. Whoops. Oh, our engine is also deactivated. That's not good. Oh dear. Yeah, it likes to turn your engine off when you turn out of that. Okay, so let's turn around and let's try and get these buggers. Which okay, I wish I could zoom in. Actually, for a second, I right-clicked to try and zoom in. I do honestly feel like I'm playing War Thunder sometimes. Okay, where is my wingman? Why is he up there? Okay, whatever. It looks like he gained some altitude, which we should probably do. Yeah, okay, probably would be a good idea to gain some altitude. Oh god, hello, okay. Okay, look, we've lost 2 sets of wings, but that's fine, because, no, sorry, 1 set of wings. Okay, we've lost another wing, and we're still flying somehow. Okay, here we go, let's go after this one. I have no idea how on earth we're still flying. Okay, there goes one. Yeah, somehow we are flying with 3 wings. That's probably mainly due to mouse aim flight. Such an amazing mod that actually manages to keep you flying. Of course we are... Oh, I don't know where those explosions were. Was that the enemy team or was that my team that's exploded? I'm not entirely sure. Is that an enemy fighter? I can't tell. That was quite a short little jousting match, really, more than anything. Let's try and shoot this guy down anyway. Just because we like the explosions. Come here, you bastard. Yes, you see it's struggling to maintain altitude, but we are actually managing to fly with 3 wings. Which is, oh, there we go, got a hit. See how much easier it is to actually shoot stuff with the mouse aim flight. Dogfighting is just so much easier. It really is like playing War Thunder, I said. And we are actually the only surviving one, probably because we have mouse aim flight. If I turn it off, can I still fly this aircraft? Oh no, I can actually still fly it, like relatively okay. It's probably because, as well, you know, even though we had our wings blown off, we've lost a lot of our maneuverability. And our lift as well. We do actually still have our tailplane, and obviously we're using the same control schemes that they would use. So you've got your elevator at the back, which only controls your pitch. You've got your rudder, which only controls your yaw, and you've got your ailerons, which only control your roll. And obviously we do also have some flaps, but they can only just be deployed to extend your wing surface. They're not used for pitch. So we are trying to go, you know, as authentic as possible with this. And I know that's quite a short dogfight, but I think it showed what I mean to convey. I can't pull up! Oh no, I can pull up. Let's see if I can land this. That'd be pretty interesting actually if I could land it. Oop. I probably should have continued using mouse aim flight, to be honest. It helps so much. It could probably make a bathtub fly, which is probably what we're going to be launching next, because our attacker is very much based off of the British biplane, the Swordfish, which very much is just oh, okay. I was going to say flying bathtub, but it can't even fly, really, can it? But there we go. Well, any landing you walk away from, I guess. So next up is our attacker. Now this is lightly based off of the Swordfish, which is a British torpedo bomber. Now we can launch 3 of these a turn, or we could launch like 1 of these and 3 fighters. You know, you can make a little combination of it. And attackers, they can have the same 2 fixed 50 caliber machine guns, but they can also have 2 Kerbals, including a tail gunner. And they can also carry up to £1,000 worth of bombs. So here we just got 2 £500 bombs. So I think we should just take off and give it a spin. Now attackers can have a slightly more powerful, let's turn the brakes off, slightly more powerful power plant of 60 on their thrust limiter. They can't have multiple radial engines though, only bombers can have those, and I'm not really going to be showing you any bombers today because I've tried to get them to work, and yeah, they work well enough, but frankly I think early on, and this was true of late World War I anyway, bombers were not particularly effective, and frankly I think we're going to have much more success in our ground attack operations with aircraft such as this, with just a small bomb load. But if we did want to make a bomber, then yes, they could have 2 radial engines, and they could also carry up to £5,000 worth of bombs. But here we go, we're in the air. Now, yeah, so these could also be take up, you know, a heavy fighter kind of role, as well as their ground attack role. But the main, you know, fact of the matter is, you know, they can go in, they can attack a target. So let's just engage our locked camera mode and engage our mouse aim flight. You have to turn off SAS for it to work, and here we go. So yeah, so you know, you could go in, you could attack a ground target, and while you're attacking the ground target, you would have your tail gunner, who's covering you from any enemy aircraft. Now this is obviously work best on guard mode, but the new wingman and everything does actually make strafing runs on ground targets. It's much better than the one we were using in Collaborative Warfare, so actually I think it can work rather well. Let's just make sure we don't crash into the ground here. Now, yeah, you're probably thinking, Biddy, why are you using a 30mm tail gun? And that's because there is no other alternative, really. There is no alternative as a tail gun. There aren't really any other rotary guns. There especially aren't any rotary 50 caliber. And although this is technically 30mm, it hasn't been modelled and hasn't been balanced the same way the other weapons have been in the World War II pack. So it's actually quite a weak weapon, and it is pretty much the same kind of power, the same sort of damage as one of those 50 calibers. So I think it's fine. It actually looks pretty good as a tail gun, but you have to be careful because you can actually blow your own tail off. I'm going to try and... yeah, there we go. You can recreate a bit of Indiana Jones. So there we go, we lost all our yaw control, and now we're screwed. So here we go, going down. Whoop! Boom. Down goes the down goes the Swordfish. See if we can just launch those bombs. Launch them. Launch it. No, I can't launch them at this angle. But anyway, let's pit two of them against each other with their tail guns and see how they work as a heavy fighter. Right, so now we're going to pit two of these as of yet unnamed aircraft against each other. We've removed the bombs, and you probably noticed, well, you might not have noticed, this little rack under here, and what that's for is for carrying torpedoes. But I haven't quite got it to work yet, but we do have torpedoes as part of the naval artillery system, as I said, mod list in the description below, and well, we'll probably showcase that when we do our naval forces video, and there's actually a lot more to this series that I've yet to explain. This is just more of an introductory video and about the sort of aircraft technology that we're actually using. But without any further ado, let's get these aircraft taking off. Here we go, command self and take off, please. Turn the brakes off. And yeah, they really do need this little bit of extra thrust on the thrust limiter. I've tried to put a wheel at the back here instead of a tail skid, but the wheels in 1.1.2, I just... they spontaneously combust. They bounce all over the place. It's horrible. I'm not sure if it's just in conjunction with Firespitter parts or not, but yeah, they really aren't working. So for now, we're just going to use tail skids. These little wheels barely work. As you see, we're having a little bit of trouble taking off, but I think we're okay. How's the other one? The other one has managed to take off without incident. Okay, that's good. So they're just going to get up to a little bit of speed. Now, we're going to have these in guard mode. We're not going to be controlling one this time because, of course, they have this tail gunner. And that means that, well, it can, you know, the moment its guns aren't facing, you know, the tail gunner can immediately get firing while it's still flying, you know, and that's something I can't do, actually, while piloting it myself. So I think it'd be more interesting if we just let the guard mode attack on its own. So here we go, we turned it on to Team A. This is now being seen as terrible capitalist Carthenian scam. So our beautiful attack over here, flown by Giza Kerman, who apparently doesn't actually have a tail gunner right now, is going to hopefully destroy them. Although it looks like this one's actually going after this one. But as I said, please come up with some names in the description. But while this one is catching up on the other one, I'm just going to talk about some of the other elements of this series. So obviously, as I said, you can move your ground forces and your naval forces a certain distance each turn, but you also have to resupply them. So we have supply units. You can launch 3 land or naval supply units each turn, yeah, and you have to use those to resupply the fuel and the ammunition of your units, or you can bring them back to port / base, and then they can be refueled and resupplied for free. So there's going to be a lot of different fronts to think about. So we're going to have submarine warfare. So say someone's sending a supply convoy to supply their main flotilla, perhaps you can use submarines to destroy all their supply convoys and hopefully prevent them getting resupply, which means they'll be stranded. And then there's a lot of strategy going into this series, but hopefully we get the tail gunners opening up on each other right now. Nope, doesn't look like it. Nope, it looks like they're just going to go for it with the old guns for now. Oh, look, this one's on its tail. Okay, I think it's the end for this little swordfish. Oh, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, I think he's hit something. No, yeah, he's definitely hit something. He's stalling out all over the place. Oh, down he goes. I think he might have taken out his tail control. Yep, he took out his yaw control, and he's just out for the count. Boom! I think we should. Where's the? There it is. I think we should deactivate the pilot for now and just take some victory pot shots at that little aircraft down there. Oh no, we can just leave the guard mode on. Oh look, it's just opening up. Jeez, look at that. Beautiful. Has there ever been a more beautiful sight? I don't think there has. Let's just be a bit bloodthirsty. Let's finish him off. Do some strafing runs. Just because I feel like it. These capitalist scum shall not be allowed to leave. Even though we're on Team A, so apparently we're the capitalist scum right now. It doesn't matter. Shh! Don't tell anybody. Let's actually activate the mouse control. It's so much easier to fly with the mouse control. Just look at this. It is essentially like playing War Thunder. Like seriously. Whoop! Okay, I think we've been bloodthirsty enough. I'm not going to showcase any bombers because, as I said, their usefulness is pretty limited. But that's pretty much been the introductory video to Fall of Kerbin, which is, I'm not going to say Collaborative Warfare is dead, but it is very much on hold. and I think there's only so many times you can see a base defense being shot from long range by a missile before it gets a bit boring. So we want to know some proper dogfights and proper naval engagements. We've got World War II warships, we've got naval artillery systems, we've got never enough Dakka for our tanks. It's going to be really something special, and you don't have to you don't get like a certain amount of launches each turn. In total you get a certain amount of air launches, naval launches and ground forces launches, so that ensures that we're having tank battles supported by air support, and everyone has got navy, we've got ground forces, we've got and of course we've got air support. There will be tech progression as well, and it's going to be a lot more strategy, and it's going to be pretty freaking amazing. And it can come out a lot more often because we're not having really long flights. We're not having to drive things for hundreds of kilometers. We're using Vessel Mover and Hyperedit. And if you think oh no, you should have to make those journeys yourself, like usually we cut them out anyway in Collaborative Warfare. It makes no difference. It means it comes out more often. We have more fun, and we think it's just a much better idea than making the whole journeys ourselves. I mean, making the long journeys, because obviously we're not using hover pads or anything, we're using proper ship engines, we're using proper tank treads and everything. Hopefully Kerbal Foundries get updated, but it's going to be really awesome, and hopefully you guys are okay with us using Vessel Mover and stuff. But please do think of some names, especially not just for this fighter aircraft but also for this base. We thought of our nation names, as you see, but we do need some names and some inspiration. Check out the mod list, and thank you for watching, everyone. I've been the Bearded Penguin, and I will see you all next time. Good luck, comrades!